What you see on your screens is outrageous. It's basically women who are being objectified. Major Mohammed Ali Shah, what kind of message would a preacher, no less, who would have a following of thousands and thousands of people, and I would like to, relate it to Zakir Naik, yet another of these controversial evangelists against whom there have been a number of cases. Why are we not able to take stern actions? This time around in Turkey, yes, that has happened. But there are several of these preachers under the pretext of praying to God and showing the followers the path of God are doing these pervert activities. What about them?
Megha, very good question by you. You know, it is really, really sad that people who have the gift of the gab, they have the power of convincing and they have the power of taking influence of others' lives. They misuse those powers, they misuse that skill, the talent, the ability, and they resort to exploitation. Now, Adnan Okhtar, also known as Harun Yahya, who's 66 years old, rightly, he's got 8,658 years in prison. I don't know where they've got that match from, because also last year he was sentenced for 1,075 years on the charges of range of crimes. That was sexual abuse of minors, fraud, espionage. And now, why is it that nothing can be done about these people? You know, we had Baba Ram Rahim in India, in Punjab. There was a riot when they had arrested him. So we've had Asaram Bapu. We've had, now there have been people who have been having a cult, and you put him parallel to Zakir Naik. Now, you know, people like this who have the power and the gift of the gab to actually influence their minds. This time, he has been charged with 13 other associates of his. They have gone into jail, and he became an international name after his talk show, which he hosted on A9 TV channel, like discussing alongside women, and there were women dancing to the modern pop with the music when he would give those religious sermons and talk to them about cult and influence their mind. These people, basically, the way they talk, Megha, they have a power of taking control of your mind. I'll give you an example. 1994. He got obsessed by a model. Now she had joined his cult, and earlier also 9,803 years. That was that's the highest punishment in Turkey. Has been a sentence of 9,803 years. This is the second highest punishment that people have got in Turkey, and they 69,000 contraceptives are found in his house. So it is like really ridiculous. And why can't they do anything about it? Because they are very politically influential. I'm surprised, and I'll tell you one thing: there are people who are highly linked, who are highly connected, highly influential, who are their followers also. So when they have blessings of such people who are influential, nothing much can be done about them, unfortunately, because even people who are politically linked, who are influential, who are in power, they also get subject sometimes to his influence, to their influence. Rather, I would say to these cultmen, to these godmen, to these frauds, basically. Being a guide is all right. Someone is guiding you, someone's mentoring you, someone's showing the right path, that's fine. But then the moment you take over someone's mind, and as Ambassador Mukherjee rightly said, it is like hypnosis. You are taking control of someone's mind, and you are casting a spell on that person, you're casting a spell on that cult.
Yeah.
It's totally ridiculous, Megha, and that is the reason. And I
agree with you. Okay, so how do we ensure that Mohammed Ali Shah, if these are cult leaders, so obviously there's a huge fan following, they will have political clout, they would be powerful, they would have connections. How do we get out of this rigmarole to ensure that fair punishment is meted out to them?
A very good question by you, Megha. You know, this has to be ensured. Now, how do we ensure it? Easier said than done, because these people will have the influence, the grip over people's minds, and they will control it and they will play with it. Now, Okhtar had got 891 individually for a series of crimes that included directing a terrorist organization, sexual abuse, preventing the right to education, tormenting, depriving, and a lot of other things. So, yeah, how do we ensure that? Well, it is when people get the harshest punishment, only then people will realize that, because as William Shakespeare once had said, the world is full of fools. Mirza Ghalib ne bhi kaha tha, har shaak pe ullu बैठा hai. So when people are actually, they want to get fooled. People will come to them, no, we want to get fooled. We want to come in your cult. Not realizing that these people are very sharp, very shrewd, extremely intelligent, and no doubt I have to give them the credit that they are very well read. And because they're very well read and they're very good orators and speakers, they have that kind of a hypnotic effect on you. Now, how do we ensure that these people get the harshest punishment and such a thing is not repeated again? Mega, unless and like when he said, you are not sure why Baba Ram Rahim got released ultimately. I mean, look at the kind of heinous crime he had done. It was proved in the court. There is Asaram Bapu, there are a whole lot of people. At the same time, there are some cults which have a very, very clean image. For example, when I was in Pune, I was doing my graduation from Pune, and there's Osho Ashram over there. Rajneesh. So people might oppose, people might, but there was no, and it's a very, very open culture over there. But yet, at the same time, I had not heard of anything of that sort coming out for Osho or for Rajneesh. I'm not saying they wasn't I don't know much about it, but most certainly there was no such case that I heard. But now, only when people like this come out on parole, people come like this, the punishments are lenient. Mega, a person who has the gift of the gab, who's fairly intelligent, well-read, can start a cult, the easiest business to do. He doesn't have to work hard. He doesn't have to do an office job. All he needs to do is, Mega, in fact, you are a good speaker. On the lighter side, I would say, you must start a cult, in fact, of your own because you speak so well. It's on the lighter side. Okay. So, but these people should actually be brought to the books straight away and no ifs, no buts, no sparing at all, Mega.
We have too many examples already. Muhammad Ali Shah, why has the world not been able to learn thus far?
Exactly, Megha. As I said, as William Shakespeare once had said, that the world is full of fools. There are people who want to get fooled. I am very surprised. They want to get blinded and they want to just throw themselves away because there's so much of stress, so much of tension, so much of anxiety, so much of depression, so much of unhappiness in the world that they find solace in a person who comforts them by speaking by the gift of the gab, and they know the pulse of their audience, of their viewers, of their listeners, of their followers. And he has been a television personality. He's been a very, very popular television personality. He made use of his fame from the fame he had got in the television program. So why? And these people who follow them, mind you, because today, being a motivational speaker, Mega, I've realized that tell me one single person in this world who would not be having tension, who would not be having stress. Everybody is stressed in their own right. Even the most successful person we find in the world would be having his fair share of tension. Now these people take advantage of that and then they misuse it. Now there are people like counselors, for example, they will keep it private. If you come to them, share a problem with them, they will keep it personal. Confession boxes, people who you confess to, they will keep it very personal and very limited. But these people will make use of it. These are people who are extremely sharp, I would say. And how do we curb it? It's a menace. It is a menace. A person who does not get employed, who feels, okay, let me start a cult. Asaram Bapu, I believe, was a Tangewala. He would ride a chariot. And then he didn't get a job. So ultimately, he thought, this is what I'm good at. And so there are some good people and there are some bad people. And it is up to people. And worst part, I'll tell you one more thing. One common thing I've observed in people in human mentality, in psychology, is the herd mentality. Oh, Gautam Mukherjee is doing that, Ambassador Mukherjee is doing that. Okay, I will also do that. Oh, they are doing this, I'll let people follow them. People stop using their own minds. They stop using their brains. They stop thinking. It is when we think as intellectuals, as mature people, as sensible people, we'll know that so-and-so is fooling. I'll give you a small example and I'll quickly conclude by that. Supposing a person is in problem, a person is in stress, and there is a relative of theirs suffering, God forbid, suffering with a terminal disease, and when the doctors give up, so okay, what do they resort to? They resort to a miracle, that a miracle can happen. And when they go to a person, even at that time, when you are so vulnerable, if someone, a Baba, gives you a pudiya and says, keep this pudiya with you and, it will bring you good luck, you tend to believe it. It's human psychology. And that is what these people actually thrive on, Megha.
Of course, that's the psychological, limit that this entire menace obviously delves on and thrives on. You're absolutely right. I thank both my panelists for joining me on the telecast, sharing their views.